Okay. And over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be sharing over the next, for today and 3 more weeks, right? 3 more sessions. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the strategies that I personally put into place to create my family's dynasty trust and to fund it, and how we use it, so that you guys can see that investing brilliantly is not just about investing in stuff out there. I'm making an investment in my family. You see that? Because my family is one of my resources, right? And we talk about using your resources to their fullest. My family is one of my resources. And I want to invest in my family. And I'm sure that some of you guys do too. And this is a great way to do it. So, over the next 3 weeks, come on and join me here for that. So, I thought that was pretty cool. I do have some other things I want to show you guys a little bit more about the Dynasty Trust. Mr. Producer, Mr. Producer, do we have any questions or comments that I need to address? Because I don't get to see all this stuff on my side here. So if there's anything on YouTube or Facebook, any questions or comments that I can address right here, I'd like to do so. So I've got my producer. He is there in the working behind the scenes, right? Keeping things going. And he'll put it into the chat for me. There he is, Mr. Producer. Anything for me, sir? You are muted, I think. There we go. Okay, so not yet. Very good. Thank you, sir. Not a problem. So if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and move on. I do want to show you guys a little PowerPoint here about this whole Dynasty Trust, because I really want you guys to understand what it is. Once you get it, most of you guys will want to embrace this, and you may even feel like you want to teach it to your kids and your grandkids. So, Mr. Producer, I'm getting a little feedback from your side there. Okay. So if there's anything you can do, let's see here. All right, Mr. Producer, can you step back? Okay. Can you step back, sir? Because you're still on my screen and I'm getting feedback from your side. All right, so guys, I'm going to share my screen with you guys again, and this time I'm going to show you a PowerPoint that I put together to just kind of help you understand how this stuff works. Mr. Producer, I'm still getting noise from your side, sir. Okay. I'm still getting noise. So if you can get rid of that, no, thank you. There we go. All right. So guys, here's my screen. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to share with you about this Dynasty Trust thing, because this is a big deal. Okay. A Dynasty Trust, as I said earlier, lasts generations, not just, 30 years after you die, right? It lasts beyond that. My Dynasty Trust lasts 360 years. That's a long time. The U.S. is only 200, 200, not even 250 years old, this whole country. So my Dynasty Trust is going to last a lot longer than this country's even been around. Okay. So let me just show you guys, show you how this works. A trust is basically a written contract of governance and administration of the wishes of the trust creator. So it's a document that basically says, this is what I want to happen for the beneficiaries of this trust, as regarding any assets that we transferred into the trust. And if you think of a trust like a big barrel or something, you put stuff into a barrel, right? Same thing, you put stuff into a trust by putting the title to like your vehicles, the title to your bank accounts, the title to your houses, all of that. You put all that in the name of the trust. It's a power, and a dynasty is a powerful family that maintains its position for a considerable length of time. That's what a dynasty is. Okay, so if you combine the dynasty and the trust, you got a powerful family that maintains its position for generations and executes on your wishes. That's what a dynasty trust does. Okay, so if you have assets like life insurance, right? This is one of the things that I use to put into my own trust. I bought life insurance on my various family members. And I buy life insurance policies on all of my family members because by using these life insurance properly, we're able to make our trust self-funding over time. And I'm going to share that with you guys over the next 3 weeks, how that stuff works. But for example, here, let's say that I bought on myself $500,000 on me, $500,000 on mom. So when we die, there's $1,000,000 right there going into the family trust, just right there. Okay. And then we have insurance on our kids and on our grandkids and on our great grandkids, and we're all going to die. And so as we all die, more and more money gets added into the family trust. That's the idea behind it. Okay. Now the parties to a trust, when you create a trust, is you have a grantor. That's the person that has created the trust. You have the trustee. That's the person that manages things for you. Now the grantor can also be the trustee. Like in my case, while I'm alive, I am the trustee. After I die, I've designated a family member to be the trustee, to manage things. And so, you want to look to responsible people to step into your shoes after you're gone. And then there are the beneficiaries of the trust. The beneficiary, the root word for beneficiary is benefits, right? Those are the people that benefit from the fact that there is a trust. They are the ones who can tap into the money that's in the trust. They can use some of the money to go to school, to pay for weddings, to buy a house, to whatever, buy cars or whatever, right? They also can get annual or monthly or quarterly payouts from the trust if the trust allows for that. And my trust does. So those kinds of things are paid out to the beneficiaries. Then there's a trust protector. A trust protector is an outside party that basically looks over everything. It could be an attorney, it could be an entire law firm, it could be a CPA, or it could just be a person that you trust to kind of look over things and make sure that the trustee, after you're gone, that the trustee doesn't take advantage of the trust, doesn't abuse the beneficiaries in any way, that kind of thing. I think the trust protector should be an entity, not just one person that you know. I think you should use like a Bank of America or something like that that's going to be around for a long, long time, right? Then there's a family board. Now, I created a family board in our family with 5 members, and all the members have to be a minimum certain age, okay? Because I don't want teenagers being on a family board, right? So all the members of the family board have to be a minimum of a certain age. And the family board's job is to serve as advisors for the trustee and to serve as, I'll say, like adjudicators for problems between family members. We don't want to air our dirty laundry by going to court, suing each other, all that kind of stuff. So we have a family board. And if you have a grievance with a family member, you literally go before the board and voice your grievance, and the board makes a decision about the grievance, and that's how we've structured that. Okay, just something else that you can do. Now, the trust banking strategy is this: stop saving your money in a bank. So if you have a savings account and you have your money in a savings account, take it out of the savings account, put it into your family trust inside your insurance policies. Stop saving your money inside your IRAs and 401ks. It's been about, I say, a year and a half now, I think, since I shut down my IRA. I had a Roth IRA. I shut it down and I put all of my money into my family trust inside our insurance policies. Use your savings to buy insurance on all the family members, but you want to buy a very specific type of insurance. It's called high cash value whole life insurance. It's an insurance policy that has been structured in a very specific way. And I'm going to tell you this right up front. 99% of life insurance agents do not know how to structure these policies properly. So don't think, oh, I'm going to go to my brother-in-law and get some insurance, have him do it. He won't know what to do unless he's been specifically trained for how to structure these policies, which most guys are not. He won't know what to do. And he's just going to sell you a policy and it won't accomplish the things that you need to get accomplished. And you're going to learn that, as I said, over the next 3 weeks. You're going to learn exactly how important that is and why you want to use certain agents to structure these policies in specific fashions. The next strategy is to insure every family member. The trust is going to pay for the premiums on every family member. Okay, on every family member. You don't have to buy a lot of life insurance. It can be a small amount of life insurance. It doesn't matter. See, that's why I said you don't have to be rich to do this. You can buy, like, for example, I got insurance on my grandchildren. It cost me $300 a year. A year. That's nothing. And that gets them well over $100,000 in life insurance. And it never goes up for their whole life. Even when they're 80 years old, it's still only $300, right? So $300 a year. But here's what does happen. Year after year, the amount of death benefit goes up. So, for example, one of my great granddaughters, I've got her covered, and I think it's like $300 or $350 for the year. And right now, she's only got about $110,000 worth of death benefit. But if she lives to be 80 years old, that death benefit that goes to the trust is more than $1 million. And we got all that for $300 a year. In 10 years, it's $3,000, right? And in 50 years, whatever that is, right? Just do the math, right? It's not very much money to be getting more than $1 million paid into the family trust. And that's the point. And by the way, when you structure these policies properly, you only have to pay them for maybe the first 5 to 7 years. After that, they self-fund. When you structure these policies properly, they self-fund, and nobody has to pay the premiums. Okay? And you can buy multiple policies on each person, because what you're going to be doing is using your buddy. Good for you. When you use these as a family bank, when people need money, they can literally take loans from your family bank rather than going and borrowing money from, for example, Wells Fargo, right? Or Visa. Instead of doing that, borrow money from your family bank. If they're going to pay interest, why not pay interest back to the family banking trust? That way, the money is still available for the next family member. Because if you pay interest to a bank outside of your family, guess what? That money's gone forever. The interest is gone forever. All of it. It's just gone forever. It's never coming back into your family. So you want to buy multiple policies on people. And we're going to talk about why that is. We're going to talk about why that is over the next week or two. Okay. So that's the strategies that I'm talking about. The other part of the strategy is you want to build in your values. You do that into the trust itself, in the trust document. You can have life lessons that you want your family members to learn. And you can use access to the trust funds as leverage to get them to learn it. For example, if you want them to learn a particular Bible verse, then you could literally put that into the trust. You can put anything in there. You create this trust. Whatever you think is of value to the next generation, and you don't want them to forget it, then you put that into your trust. Isn't that crazy cool? That's crazy cool. Okay. Your spiritual lessons, your financial lessons, life lessons, lessons about marriage, lessons about health, lessons about exercise, things that you feel are valuable. You can put that into your trust, and you can make that a part of the legacy that you leave behind. I love that. Okay. Hey guys, those of you that are part of this event today, if you're liking what I'm talking about, do me a favor. Hit the like button, thumbs up, put a comment. As a matter of fact, put in there, I'm digging it. Put that right into the comments on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're watching this, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching this. I'm digging it. Family trust, dynasty trust. Okay. I'm digging it. Guys, let me go on here. Now, the other thing that you're going to do when you design your trust is you're going to design the benefit strategy, right? How do people that are the beneficiaries, how do they benefit from the trust? You decide that. You and your attorney will figure out, here's some ways that they could benefit, and then you just decide what you want to include or exclude as benefits. For example, how can they access money? In my case, I set mine up so that people have two sources, two ways to access the money. Once a year, after the trust has a certain amount of money in it, once a year, each direct descendant will receive a payout from the trust. Just cash. Here you go. Boom. It could be 5,000. It could be 10,000. It could be 100,000. Depends on how much money is in the trust. But each direct descendant gets a payout. That's part of what I put together. That's called a distribution. The other thing is this: any direct descendant can borrow money from the trust. So if they want to go and buy a car, if there's enough money in the trust, they can borrow the money to buy the car right from the trust and make their monthly payments back to the trust with interest, instead of paying interest to Toyota or Mercedes finance, right? They pay interest into the trust. And then that way, the next family member that wants to buy a car, there's money there to do it. Isn't that just a brilliant strategy? You can also give grants. Like in my case, I put grants in our trust for people that accomplish certain things. For example, if you think it's important that your heirs get a college degree, you could literally say, okay, once you graduate once you graduate from college with a certain grade point average, whatever you put in there, right? Then you will receive a grant from the trust of $50,000, $5,000, whatever you want to do. And you could, of course, put charitable clauses in there like the Rockefellers did. You can say that this trust is going to be donating to charitable events, or that each recipient, each person, each beneficiary, when they're taking money from the trust, needs to donate a certain amount to certain charities of their choice or whatever. So those are the ways you can design your benefits strategies. And your attorney will give you lots of other ideas. And then you can also design a family board, like I mentioned, right? You can decide who can sit on the board, how big will your board be, what are the powers that your board will have with inside the trust, that kind of thing. Really good stuff, guys. So I hope you guys see that this series is a life-changing series, and this is the stuff that people don't talk about. Certainly, you don't learn this stuff in college, right? You don't learn this stuff in college. Your professors don't know this stuff. Your bosses don't know this stuff. You guys are learning some things that wealthy families do. And I didn't know this myself until I became wealthy and I started hanging out with wealthy people. And in particular, one of my partners in a real estate deal, he's a doctor and his family's wealthy. And he shared with me that his grandfather had set up a family dynasty trust years and years ago when he was just a kid. And he used that to pay for his college education, to pay for his medical degree, and also to buy a building to run his practice from. And each month he pays the mortgage payments to the family trust instead of mortgage payments to some big bank that the money would leave the family forever. I don't know about you, but I just, again, that Guinness commercial for beer, Guinness beer, brilliant. I love it. It's brilliant. And so when I saw that, I thought, I got to do that. And as I said, you don't have to be rich to do this. You start wherever you can start. If all you can start with is $25,000 life insurance policies that cost $100 a year, right? Then do that. Start someplace. You can always add more policies. And also, as I said, the policies become self-funding at some point anyway, right? So do that, guys. I'm thinking this. I've gone through the message that I want to give to you guys today. I hope you guys have found that this information is valuable, and I hope that you will embrace this, right? I just want to remind you guys, like this video, share it, invite people to come back next Thursday at the same time and watch to hear the next part of this 4-part series, because this is the stuff that changes lives, okay? And then at the end, I'm going to show you guys how to use this to actually invest your money through your trust, through your insurance policies, into cash flowing vehicles like mortgage-backed promissory notes. Okay, we're going to tie it all together at the very end. So, Mr. Producer, before I wrap this up, let me ask you, sir, are there any comments or questions that I need to address in the chat? If so, please throw them into the chat. I know that you're monitoring the chats on social media, the various channels, and so forth. Okay. Well, very good. Very good. So I want to remind you guys also that um, you can learn these strategies and so many others that change your life, change the trajectory of your family's life, that gets you out of living paycheck to paycheck, that literally can create wealth for you and your family now, and wealth that you can pass on to the next generations by heading over to noteinvestoruniversity.com. That's our sponsor, noteinvestoruniversity.com, where you can learn more about how we, as a part of our community, work together to grow our wealth together. You know, President John Kennedy once made a statement. He says, "A rising tide lifts all boats," right? Guys, we're in the boats together. And so you'll probably want to head over to Note Investor University. Consider joining our community. Our community meets every Saturday for an hour and a half on Saturday mornings, and we talk about investing. We talk about trainings. We do coaching. We talk about things like this, strategies. We do networking. We make investments together. So it's a great place to be. You know, who you hang around with matters. We all understand that. We understand that. We know that because we tell our kids, hey, you're hanging around with the wrong crowd, right? But yet we go and hang around with a bunch of broke people. Get out of that. There's some people that you can spend a little time with, but not a lot of time, right? You can spend a few minutes, but not a few hours. There's some people you can spend a few hours with, but not a few days. I'm not saying you need to take everybody out of your life, but I'm simply saying pay attention to who you are hanging around with. Spend as much time as you can with people who have what you want, who people who are going where you want to go, and start to develop those relationships. Okay? And you can do that by heading over to noteinvestoruniversity.com, looking at our programs, checking us out, joining us. You can even join us as a guest one time on a Saturday to see what we're all about, kind of like taking a peek behind the curtain. We allow that. But you need to head over to noteinvestoruniversity.com, put your contact information in there, and one of our success managers will reach out to you and help you and answer any questions that you have and get you a guest invitation. One last time, guys, don't forget, please like this video, share this video, comment on this video. Give me some love, okay? Give me some love if you like this. Give me some hate, but give me some comments. I don't mind haters. I'm at the point in my life now, I don't care what you have to say if you're a hater. I'm rich. Okay? I got rich doing what I'm teaching you guys how to do, and it didn't take long. So you can be a hater if you want. You just be a broke hater. I don't care. It ain't a problem for me. Okay? I'm just now just trying to give back. I'll be 71 years old here in less than 2 months, right? And I'm just trying to give back. I don't have to do this. I just enjoy doing this. And that's why I'm doing it. You don't have to follow what I'm teaching. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you, if you will embrace what I teach, your life will never, ever, ever be the same. You can literally get the money thing out of the way forever and never have to worry about money again. Can you imagine that? Never having to worry about money again? That's what I'm talking about here, guys. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, look, guys, I'm going to wrap this up and call it a day. I hope to see you guys next Thursday. In between now and then, tell your friends, tell your family members, you guys need to see this. This is the stuff that changes lives. And get some people on to the call next Thursday. Get them watching this one. It's going to be on the YouTube channel. It's going to be on Facebook. And they can watch the replays on this one so they can get a handle on it. And they'll be up to speed for next week. God bless you all. I'll see you all next week.